How's it going, everyone? What is up? What is up? All right, I'm on my new MacBook today, so hopefully everything goes well. Let me know if the clicking noises are too loud. I can turn them down. You know, I think I forgot. Let me check something real quick. All right. Yeah, so I've been playing around a little bit with Laravel, and I wanted to just try to do some more learning on a live stream. And this is on my new laptop, so I need to re-download some stuff. So the first thing that they recommend doing is installing Laravel Herd, which is like a service that runs all the things that are necessary to run a Laravel project. How did I click that? Oh, okay. We'll see how this goes. It might ask me to like restart my computer or something. All right, it's installed. Let's just double check. The laptop I got was a MacBook Pro M3. I think it's like 18 gigabytes of memory. All right, so if I just load up a new terminal, I should be able to type PHP and it should work now. Hopefully. I don't know what it's doing, but there we go. What is Laravel? Laravel is a full stack framework for PHP. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do Inertia. I've been doing like Blade and Livewire. Haven't joined any live session. I want to thank you for your content you upload on your channel. Amazing work. Hey, thank you. Thanks for joining. Yeah. All right, so I forget how to get started with this. Got this installed. Okay. Now I think I need to do like it's called Artisan. Let me just follow a guide. All right, here it is, Composer. So Composer is like MPX Create, I think. It just like create up a Laravel application. Zoom in a little bit. So if I go back to my workspace, type this in, and I'll say my Laravel app. I should create it. Downloading some dependencies. It ran my migration scripts. It created a table. And now I think I can open, which I don't have that command. So I have to go workspace. Let's go to my Laravel project. And then I am going to be using VS Code, but I would say the IntelliSense setup is not as good if you just use like PHP Storm. But there's some issues with PHP Storm. It does cost money. And then also you have to download a monthly subscription to Laravel IDEA to get better IntelliSense. So it's like, I'd rather use VS Code if I could. So let's start this. I think it's like PHP artisan serve. So this is like a npm run dev, and that'll run the application. And here we have a Laravel app that's running. Pretty straightforward. There is something I want to set up though. There's something called Breeze, which comes with like some authentication out of the box. And I've done this all before once on my other laptop, so I'm just doing it again to make sure I've solidified some of that knowledge. How do you install this? Composer required level Breeze. All right, so run this command. Run this Breeze install command. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this functional Vault API with all this stuff. By the way, this is the first time recording on my new laptop. Does the sound all sound okay? Compared to my other videos and streams? Whoops. Cool, so now, if I hide my head a little bit, we have authentication set up out of the box. So if I go and register, why did it go to Laracast? Let's go here, Cody, testing at example.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and register. And now I'm authenticated. Say something about Taylor Otwell. Honestly, I don't know him. Is he the creator of Laravel? What do you want me to say about him? Someone says the audio is not synced up with the webcam. Do other people have the same issue where like it doesn't seem like it's synced up? Let me see if I can change some properties. I don't know. People say it's good on their end, so. The theme I'm using is Bearded Theme Stained Blue. Yeah, I don't. I'm not, you keep asking me to say something about him. I don't even know him. Like, I don't know what to say about him. All right, what should I build? Now that we have this all set up, like, what's a really, really basic application we could try building to learn more about this? And not a to-do list application, because I've already done that. How my Twitch viewers doing? A link shortener. All right. First suggestion, let's do it. Let's see how far we can get. So if I'm logged in, what is the first feature we should add for a link shortener? I guess the ability to have a form here where you can type in a full length link and then submit it, and then it generates you a shorthand link. Does that seem like a good first step? I might have to install some PHP stuff. Let's see. Use a setting PHP validate execute path to configure. I don't want your notifications VS Code. Get out of here. Let's see what things we can install. I think I want this one. Better intelligence for Laravel projects. So this one's 1.6 million downloads. What's the difference? Guess I'll go with the one that has more downloads. But does one of them have Blade? Let's see. Okay, whatever. PHP command not found. Do I have to reload my whole thing? I'm just going to use Livewire and Blade. I'm not using React and Inertia. Maybe one day I'll try that out. I'm trying to get away. Well, I'm not getting away from React, but if I'm going to try something new, I might as well try like legit something new. I just used the built-in keyboard that's built into my MacBook. Can you tell me the specs of your MacBook RAM and processor? Sure, if I can find it. Let's go up here. About this Mac. And it's a MacBook M3 Pro, 18 gigabytes of memory. I think it's 512 gigabytes of disk space. Don't know if that serial number is special and I shouldn't be displaying it, but whatever. All right, so let's go and try to add a form. Now, I haven't done like form validation here, so let's see if we can find where they do forms. Click forms. And let's go over here and just read through this. Now, one thing I will say is that I like using the Volt. The Volt like library or packages. But most of the examples you're going to see in these documentations seem like they're all using the class components, which sucks from my perspective. But it is what it is. I think most people like using the classes. I'm more of a functional API type of person. Okay, so what do we need to do? When we load this page, we need to display a form. So let's just go ahead and grab this. And I'll put a form down here. Not auto formatting. I wonder if there's like a formatter I need to install. Cool. Now all my syntax highlighting is gone. Let me try closing it. Huh. There's a volt section at the bottom left sidebar. Reload window has. There's a volt section in the bottom left sidebar. What you talking about? Maybe this needs to be PHP, not Blade. Hmm. Anyway, let's just move on. So we got a form here, and when I submit this form, I guess the first thing we need to do is like, we're gonna have to probably extract this to an actual like live wire component. So let's go over here. And I don't know the best practices for like how to organize your stuff, but I'm guessing you'd want to put like a, you're on the dashboard page, you probably want like a dashboard folder to have all of your components set up. And I do believe there's a way to just like use a command to generate this stuff. So like PHP artisan make vault. I think it's going to ask you what you want to make. And I'm going to make a URL form. Go ahead and drag that here. Is that the convention? Yeah, hyphens. Okay. Why isn't this syntax highlighted? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that blade thing because it's just messing up my formatter. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Sorry, y'all. You're seeing this from the ground up. Like this is a brand new VS Code instance. Have no extensions set up other than my formatter. Yeah. So the idea is kind of like React components or just any other components of any other UI library. You should be able to say live wire dot, and what I don't like about this, at least in VS Code, is you don't get the IntelliSense when you type stuff, which kind of sucks. I do get the GitHub Copilot telling me where it is. We found a reference to public code in a recent out here. So if I were to take this form and just paste it over here, now if I go back to my app, refresh the page, we see a form here. Yeah, I could use some work. The IntelliSense is not the best, but I'm not going to spend my time learning a brand new editor, especially for me just trying to learn something new. That's my biggest suggestion I would give is like if the community could work on better IntelliSense for VS Code, I think it would potentially convert a lot more people over to using this. Because I don't know why the PHP Storm, like the interface, I just don't like it. It just feels like it's just too much. It's overwhelming. VS Code is just simple, looks clean, doesn't have 1,000 drop downs and buttons and widgets. So how do we make progress? One thing I want to be able to do is like style this stuff. So like, for example, I don't think I have Tailwind set up. So like if I say like, well, I think Tailwind is brought in, but the BG blue 400, let's see if that styles the button. Yeah, so like that is not getting styled when I add BG blue 400 to this. And I noticed that Tailwind doesn't seem like it comes, it does come configured in this project, so I'm not sure why that wouldn't work. I I probably need to find like where's the root level layout, which I have no idea how to find. Okay, so it's imported here, resources CSS, app CSS. And then I'm guessing app CSS is imported somewhere else. Okay, it's imported in all of these different. Yeah, actually, I think the issue is I'm not running. I think you need to run in another terminal like npm run dev. So although this is PHP, you can't get away from npm, guys. You're going to end up touching some JavaScript. More than likely. So I think that is running the Vite setup, which should like auto-compile stuff when I change styles. So let's go back and save this. Is our button blue now? There it is. Okay. And I think also doing this allows you to like change this, and now you get live reloading. Before it wasn't live reloading. Yeah, I have on my other laptop, I installed PHP Storm. I started playing around with PHP and Laravel IDEA. But I think Copilot can also just help with a lot of that too. I keep hearing people talk about inertia. I haven't tried it out yet. We are currently migrating an app from Laravel to Pages router. How's that going? And why'd you do the Pages router, not app router? Honestly, the middleware stuff, I'm just making my life more complicated by not using an Edge like compatible database. Probably just use like Neon or whatever. Just use the defaults that they try to push you into. But I really want to host Next.js on a VPS, which means like you're kind of going against the grain of how the Next team / Vercel has everything set up. They want you to deploy Edge. But I'm guessing in the future they're going to add a configuration for different types of middlewares in case you don't want Edge. I think that'll really benefit the next project or the next framework if they give more options. Like the more optionality you have in software, the better the system is, in my opinion. Because you get like locked into these third-party services and libraries, and then they get unmaintained, and you have to go and like figure out how to switch off of them, and that's a whole big effort. Anyway, let's just keep coding. I used inertia for a project in my company. I must say I really liked it. Can someone explain in like a sentence or two, like what is inertia and why would I use it? Like, is it literally just like server-side rendering React pages individually or something? Like, why would I choose it over Livewire? At that point, if you're using inertia, does that mean you're just using Laravel for your API and your backend stuff? All right, so this, the problem with live streaming is like you want to code, but then you want to keep responding to people in chat, and so you don't make progress. So we got a form here, and what we're trying to do is just add a URL. So this will be type text, which I don't think we even need. And this will be URL. What is the full URL we want to shorten? And in order to track that, I think you say state, you say URL. Okay. And then now we also need a save function. So I'll say save is equal to function, which is going to do something. Let's not let Copilot do the work for us just yet, so that I don't become dumber. Unexpected variable. Oh, there we go. Get those semicolons. There's one thing that even PHP Storm, at least the default configuration, when you forget these semicolons, like it's so annoying to figure out that like this isn't the issue. The issue is here. That could use a little bit of work. But yeah, now we have a save thing. And if we wanted to do something such as, I don't know, save this into a collection, a model, how would we do that? So one thing I'll give Laravel is that like the ORM that's built out of the box is really powerful. And everything's just set up for you. You don't have to go and install Drizzle and set up a Drizzle config and do all this other boilerplate stuff. Like it's just there. And so if you want a new model, you just say PHP artisan make model, and then I'm going to call it URLs. I guess I'll just call it URL. Run this. And now we have a model for storing URLs, right? There's some stuff I'm not really sure about that you have to add, like guarded / fillable. I need to read more about that, but now we have a model that we could potentially use, and the next thing you need to do is write a migration script. So let's do the same thing. I'm going to say make a migration, and I'll say add URL table. Here we go. And by the way, most full stack frameworks like do this same type of thing. Like you have some type of migration generation command. You come in here. The thing that's different about Laravel, which you don't really see in Drizzle yet, is that you typically have to come in here and manually write your up and down commands. Unless someone can correct me, but like with Drizzle and Prisma, all you do is you define like your models or your schema, and that automatically figures out your migration scripts for you. So maybe Laravel has that, but if not, they should probably add that. Just auto-generate your migration scripts based on the model changes that you make. Like that's one thing that I love about Drizzle and Prisma. Because now I got to go and figure out how to write a migration script. So I think Copilot could probably help us. So like a table with an ID, a user, foreign, EID, and what else do we want? A full URL and a auto-generated short URL. Let's see if this can figure this out for us. Schema, create URLs. Okay. Makes an ID. We got a foreign key, which I think there's a different way to do this. You can say foreign ID 4, and then you can say like put the model here. Okay, so that's going to link to the user model. And then we have text, full URL. Short URL is a unique. I wonder if we should make this unique too. You shouldn't have two. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess this, you could have the same URL but different short URLs for it if you wanted to. And then timestamps, okay. Cool, so now we have a migration script, and you also have to write a down script. So something that Laravel provides is you can roll back a migration. So if you're doing like rapid prototyping locally, you apply the migration, you realize, oh, I forgot to add a column, or I did something wrong. You just do a rollback, and then you change this and you reapply it. So since we're just creating a table here, we can just go ahead and delete that same URLs table. And hopefully, if I got all this correct, I doubt I did, but I'm sure Copilot did it right. You can just go in here and you can run migrate, and that will apply those changes to your current table. And what else am I forgetting? I think something else that I learned recently is you can come in here and you can make a function so that if you wanted to get all the URLs that are associated with your current logged in user, you can do that. How did it know this, huh? Copilot's listening to me talk. There we go, has many. So this is how you can link this model. So this user model is linked to the URL model. And yeah, that should be good. I think we're good here, other than I'm sure we'll have to come back here and add like a fillables. However the heck that works. Or I think it's called a guarded. Did I forget anything? Yeah, so let's do a, I don't know how to make a guarded property for user ID. I think that's all you have to do. All right, how am I doing, y'all? Let's go back and we're linking this to state, okay? And so when you save, we should probably clear that out. So I think I could say this dot state to nothing. Don't forget that semicolon. And now if I go back to my app, type something in, it doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Wire, submit, save. Do I have to hard refresh? Hold on. Nope. Next time, just add the -m. It'll generate the migration for you, I believe, is what you're saying. Billable and guarded allows you to control like what auto added to a new entry from the request object directly. It'll generate migrations for you. You correct fillable. It is an array. This URL is, oh, did I call it state? Okay. Again, like there's no autocomplete here. So like you're going to do dumb mistakes like that, which are going to just eat up your time. And if you guys do use VS Code, like let me know. There's something I'm missing. Like there's no way there's not like autocomplete here. Like, you know, I bet you Copilot can figure it out. Oh. Anyway, we should try validating. So I think this works. Okay, actually, first let me submit this. So like let's complete the circle for like storing this somewhere. So over here I can say use, what is it? It's like the app slash models slash URL. And then I want to create a URL, which I think this is already associated with like the user. So I can say auth, which is a global. I don't know how that's defined. Like where do you know what globals are available to you? I'm not a fan of that. I don't like globals because it's like, I don't know. But I think now you can do like get the user. We want to get the URLs that are references, and then we want to create a URL like this. Undefined method URLs. Okay, we got some telesense there. That's pretty nice. Is this not how you do it? I swear this is how you do it. URLs has many URL class URLs. Just user. Ah, thank you all. Thank you. Okay, anyway, that should create a URL, right? But also, I think what I need to do is like load this page. When this page loads, we have the form for creating a new URL, but like let's make another one for displaying them. So like let's pretend we have a Livewire dashboard.url list. Save that, and then we're going to go over here and just copy this URL list blade PHP. Now the difference is that this list is just going to be like an unordered list here. Loop over all the URLs. I don't like this, so I'm gonna go over here. Can you just define stuff, or does it have to be in state for it to work? Like if I said URLs is equal to this, And then over here I said URLs. Yikes, this syntax highlighting. Rough. What do we call it? We called it URL and short URL. Guess I have to go look at the migration. So like when you make a new model, are you supposed to just put IDs, like the keys for everything? Because like how do you know what actually lives on this URL model? Maybe I'm supposed to say like guess you have to add a fillable, but you're not supposed to use a guarded and a fillable at the same time. So like go back to chat. I recommend the Blade plugin. Okay, let's just do this one. I guess this is Laravel. Is the Laravel Blade snippets and syntax highlighting support? Okay, let's just install that. Go back to our Blade. Okay, that looks better. Awesome. It's called full URL, which someone in the chat mentioned, and then we also have short URL. I'm just gonna put a line here so I know it's a link. I could come back here and add H anchor tags. Man, this is rough. The lack of intelligence is killing me. And then also, again, like if anyone knows about the model thing I talked about, use fillable means what you can insert into that table. So do you not need guarded? I don't like how like the model in the schema is like not linked up. Like why do I have to come in here and actually like, I guess it's because I didn't create the migration script properly. I should have used the -m. That probably would have looked at my fillables. Actually, it doesn't make sense either, because how would it know what types are needed here, right? So like this is short URL, full URL, timestamps. Anyway, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to display the list, right? And so like this should hopefully get all the URLs associated with the user. And then we should loop over them and display them. So if we go back to our app, undefined, my property user. I mean, this probably has to be state, right? Like state, and then you probably need to say like URLs is equal to, let's see if that works. No. I mean, let's read it. Undefined property, user. I mean, so is auth not defined here? Let's take a step back. Does this work? Well, obviously I have to import this state thing. Again, I don't know what that is, so let's go here. Import vault. Hold up. Okay, why did this... This is confusing. When you submit, when I call save here, it calls this save function. I'm calling auth-user, and then people are saying I don't need parentheses here. But over here, I do need parentheses to get the URLs. Like this is... Am I doing something wrong? I must be doing something wrong. Do I need state? I think you do need state. Okay, so I'm guessing stuff is not getting added to my database. I don't know why. Is this using SQLite for right now? Like, what database is this using? How do I even check? API key. Database. The default is SQLite. Okay, I am using SQLite. So where's my SQLite database? I think it's in storage. If I close all this, go to storage. Probably hidden file, which why it's not showing up like... You know, actually it might be in database. It makes sense to be in database. Here it is. Database, SQLite. If I wanted to inspect that, probably need like a SQLite browser. How do I do that? Open database, open that one, SQLite Explorer, URLs. Go ahead and look here. There's no data in it. So the first issue is like when I submit this form, it's not storing anything. But I'm not getting an error. I am getting an error now. Maybe I have to add the parentheses here. Maybe this did need parentheses. Okay, it doesn't like the parentheses. Yeah, I think you do need the parentheses on user because now it's actually trying to insert. But I've ran into this issue like last night. I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out what's going on. And this is related to the protected and fillable, which honestly I still don't really understand. So if we go and look at the models URL, I got this to work, I think, by doing this. Full URL, not URL. Make guarded equals false. Your fields are wrong. Add all the columns. Wait, is that a real thing? Generate short URL? That's deep. I wonder what this actually generates. Oh, this can't be right. Let's just go ahead and say like ABC. Sometimes you start trusting Copilot much more than you should. Okay, let's make this more consistent with our data model. And then also, yeah, I wonder if like, what's the convention that people with Laravel use? Is it full URL or is it full URL like this? Like snake case, camel case, doesn't matter. Let's run this again. State definition for URL not found on component dashboard URL form. What did I screw up? Oh, okay, because I changed this. Missing that TypeScript right now. Okay, so it did add. That's good. And it's right here. Awesome. I'm figuring it out. So I need to generate like a random token here. And actually, let me go back to chat, see if people are giving me some good stuff. Auth user. Okay, thank you, Bulk Nowak. You're inspiring me to learn other stuff in web dev other than React, but the initial jump is hard for me. I'm a full-time dev, and there's still a lot of demand for React, even though I'm tired of it, mostly Next.js. Yeah, I mean, just when you get time, just learn new stuff. Every time you learn something new, it helps you see better ways of doing things, and it also makes you appreciate the current ways you're doing things. Bring random. Make a controller. Yeah, without Copilot, this would have been rough. Like, I didn't not know how to import that string place, like where it came from. I don't know if this is even right. I'm hoping Copilot's right. Okay, it worked. So after you submit, one thing that someone pointed out is that there's this keyword called with. And, oh wait, I don't need to put it in this file. I need to put it in the list. So over here, if I bring in with, I guess somehow that makes like things reactive. Although I don't know, these are two separate Livewire components, so I think we might have to use like some type of emitter so that they can listen when stuff changes, but I'm not really sure. I think you have to put this in an anonymous function, and then I think I could just do this. Now I don't need state. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this will actually work. Yeah, this won't work. Unless someone knows. Auto-resolve namespace. Auto-resolve. PHP namespace. Let's see if that pops up with something. Is it this one? PHP namespace resolver, or is it like a Laravel namespace resolver? Must be the PHP one. This is killing me. Why is this saying it's undefined? Like, undefined method. Okay. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, ring null. I'm not using like controllers and stuff. I'm using Volt. I mean, command should work out of the box for Am I blind? I mean, a little bit. My eyesight's not the best. Okay, so does anyone know how to get these two things to communicate? Because like, if this was on the same page, like, let me show you. If I were to put these directly here, like underneath. Instead, what you can do is, I can say with. Why is this not syntax highlighting now? The moral of the story is do not write PHP using VS Code. It's not going to be a very good experience for you. All right, so I should be able to do this. That'll load in the URLs, I think. Yeah, I might just, should I just hold down the power button to my computer and like just reboot the whole thing? Undefined variables URLs. What line is this coming from? For each URLs. I mean, not how you do it. One thing I'm also like, the Laravel docs, like if you try to search with, like they don't really explain it. Like how do I get to the with? Laravel vault. Turn an array post. With is a function. Oh, it needs to be like this. Okay, I'm dumb. Do that. URLs. This should hopefully work. Undefined variable URLs. Bro, what is this complaining about? Alright, screw this. I'm undoing everything. Get rid of that one. Undefined variable URLs. Bro, I think I might be blind. Like, what is going on here? I mean, this is the only place I'm using URLs, right? It's telling you the line. Okay. It's saying line. Oh, shoot, not that one. Line 14. And it's highlighting the line here. But it's saying undefined variable URLs. Where do you see URLs anywhere here? It's not here. It's like, I mean, this. I mean, it's used down here too. So it's telling me line 17, which is here. Wait, URL form blade 14. That's what I'm on. Line 14. Man. You need to import the user model. I imported the user model. Make dd auth. What is dd auth? Look what's inside dd auth. Oh, well, I probably need a semicolon there. DD is console log. Dump and die. Okay, so how do I change it so it actually logs out? Like, where would this log stuff out? Because, like, if I say... Okay, hold on. It's failing on load. So there's something here. Which is trying to, like... Let me just comment out everything. This is ridiculous. Maybe if I just keep refreshing it, you think it'll just, like, fix? Okay. When in doubt, restart everything. Bro, what is going on? I literally have everything commented out. Like... Just... Oh my god. No, there's something else going on here. Like, I must have broken something somewhere. Stuff out. You know what? Someone said that you can't... Hold on, let's just delete. Delete that, delete that. Let's just delete all this crap. All of it. Livewire encountered a missing root tag. Okay. Why is it, like, trying to import URL as blade when I have commented it out here? Like, this is not... Why is it trying to evaluate this? I thought PHP is like a dynamically ran thing. So like the fact that I have this commented out, it's still trying to validate this file. Yeah, it's like I'm commenting this out, but that doesn't make a difference because PHP is still trying to like evaluate it. That's insane. Okay, so that submitted, cleared out this. Still not refreshing over here. If I do a hard refresh, that's not loading the URLs. Is this even... Oh, I'm not even using it anymore, so that's probably why. So livewire dashboard dot URL list. Okay. Well, I don't know. It's like it's small stuff like this that just leave a bad taste in someone's mouth when they first try something. But I'm just trying to give this a solid try, you know? Again, how do I get this thing to update? Let's try to learn about that. There's like something with the events or emitters or something. I could do on. Let's see if I can get the auto import working. Like at this point, I don't know what I'm doing. So a lot of the frustration comes from like not really understanding what I'm doing. Like, how do I auto import this? Like, I just installed some type of PHP extension, namespace resolver. What is this supposed to do? You right click on it, you say import namespace. Okay, well, do it manually, I guess. And then, yeah, I guess, can I dd event triggered here? And I want to say that URL added over here. I could probably omit that somehow. I don't know how to omit it. Probably just the keyword omit or something. Dispatch. Okay, dispatch. This dispatch URL added. Add my semicolon. Go back over here. There, event triggered. Cool. So this list, we could potentially send the URL that was added and like push it to the state, or we could be lazy and just say state URLs is equal to an empty array. Actually, we could probably just grab it from here when the page first loads, but then I think you can just say this URLs is equal to, and then I'm going to go ahead and just redo that. Is this how you're supposed to communicate between components? Let's figure this out. Wow. At this point, it's almost like I'm doing a to-do list application again, but I'm learning a lot more than last time. So yeah, let me just style this real quick. I go to the list over here. If I want to style this, text white, DG gray 50, padding of 4. Rounded XL. What am I trying to do here? I just want to add some space here. Class space Y2. All right, in the whole panel, where's this panel being used? Probably over here. This whole thing should use some padding. The form should have some padding under it. Yeah. Might as well just add delete functionality, right? I feel like this needs to be backwards. So like the short URL needs to point to the long URL. Technically we could do like a table or something. Here's a short URL. Here's the long URL. And yeah, I guess we could try adding like an endpoint that actually takes the short URL and tries to redirect to a long URL. Or we could try to do some validation. Might do the validation first. Have you ever thought about trying Blazor? No. I mean, I've coded in C# a little bit. I just haven't had a chance to use Blazor. Isn't Blazor a C# thing? You can just pass properties. Pass properties where? All right. Take a little mental break. Bro, why are you studying Laravel? Because I want to learn some new things. And that's how you become a better developer, is expand your knowledge. Plus people keep talking about it on Twitter. I wanted to see what all the hype is about. Inside the function. Love your channel. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. How about Laravel with Breeze? I mean, I think I'm using Breeze. Isn't Breeze the thing that like sets up the auth? One thing I'll complain about with Laravel is that, like, when you get into the ecosystem, they have like so many different words. Breeze, Volt, Livewire, Artisan, Composer. I'm sure there's some other stuff I'm missing. What's the one the one where you can use React? I don't know. It's a lot of stuff to learn. So, how do we make a URL like lookup? So like if I haven't made an API endpoint yet, so let's try to figure that out. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's go over here. And how do you make a route? Looks like you go here to your route page. What is auth? Web. I don't know what these conventions mean. Console, web. I'm just gonna make a new one called API. I don't know if this is the proper way to do it. View. I just want a controller. Like this. You go to slash. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see if Artisan can help us out. It'll say make redirect. Wait, no, what am I doing? Make controller redirect. Guessing you do this. I'll probably go to the docs and try to figure out what it needs to be. Controller. I'm on the wrong docs. Okay, user controller. This is how you make a controller. You can make some functions on it. You can return a view from that controller if you want to. How you make a route. Oh, yeah, I should probably do a get, not controller there. And then you could do slash URL slash short URL. I'll just keep the convention standard with the other one. And then to use it, you can do this, I guess. And this will be redirect controller. I'm going to go ahead and rename this one. Okay, so hopefully now. Yeah, I wonder if I have to like link this up somewhere. Like, does Laravel notice look through here and like traverse this tree and try to find these things? Or do I have to like add them in manually? I figure with routing, I gotta add them in. Okay. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to like make a controller which has a show function, I guess. And let's see how they tell us to make the controller. Public function show. Takes in a string of short ID. Now to get this working, we're gonna have to basically load in the error here. Whatever. Load in the URL model, and then I need to query it. Is this how you do a query? Where short URL is equal to that. Give us the first one. If it exists, we redirect to the full URL. Otherwise, we redirect back to the home page. I wonder if this will work. So let's go over here, and I'll say URL slash. You'll probably put a real one in. Like a type, google.com, submit it. What did I break already? Cannot be serious. Unable to find component dashboard URL form. Did I change anything here? Like, allowed memory size exhausted. What is going on here? Like, okay. I must have something configured where I added this new like routes API route, and I probably just didn't do it right. Acquired dir auth PHP. Yeah, I'm a retard. Let me delete that. I'm probably like recursively including some file, which is breaking. Okay, that was the issue. So now if I use this ID here, it redirect me back to Google. Wow, it worked. API/URLs, put the short ID, and it takes you back. Can I style? Yeah, I could style the save button. Hold on. Load up that form. Let's go over here to save. Now, one thing I was doing, I brought in Daisy UI. Go here. This is like a super easy, fast way to just like get components with very little effort. So like, let's just go ahead and run this. Okay, run that. We'll go to plugins, find the Tailwind component. So looks like I already have a plugins here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. What is this form plugin? Why do I already have a form plugin? Tailwind CSS forms. Okay. I think that's all I gotta do. If we go back over here. What else do we need to do? Can I just say button here? There we go. I got a button. I can also say button the danger. Success. Let me just try some stuff. Here we go. Great URL. And then for the input, I think we can say class is equal to input. Go. Accessibility is awful, so let's go and find an input with a border. Here we go. Okay, you are logged in. We can get rid of that. Well, I put an H1 here. It says upload your URL. I wonder what the default styling is for H1s. Not good. So text 4XL. Font bold. I wonder if Daisy has a heading, header, title. No. Header, title. Yeah, they just manually do it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, what else should we do? Mark bottom. We should probably just put some space here. Space Y or space that stuff out a little bit. Can't command click into URL form, unfortunately, so I gotta go over here, and then I have to say submit URL. That. Validation, I think, is something I want to play around with. Is it a good idea to use Laravel as a backend to your Next.js app? Personally, it depends on your business requirements or your needs for your system. If you want a separate API, maybe you could. I personally would not mix and match like a JavaScript. I personally wouldn't use Laravel if I was making a Next.js application. You already kind of bought into JavaScript and TypeScript. I would probably use like Adonis.js, or I just use I don't know, so one of those frameworks like Sails or Hona, I think is one that people are using with Bun. I'm not a fan of like having so many different syntaxes and libraries and frameworks on your project. The more you add to a project, the more complex it just gets and harder to maintain. Onboarding takes longer. If you can consolidate it to a single, I don't know, TypeScript, which is why I like Next.js, because like everything is just in TypeScript. And then if you need to write your front end code, you're going to be using JavaScript/TypeScript anyway, right? I'm assuming with Laravel at some point you're going to have to import some random JavaScript library you find online to be able to display some charts. Like I'm sure you can't just use Blade templates with Livewire to display charts, which means you're going to have to just npm install stuff, and then you have to go to your layout. You'll have to import it. Where's layouts? Yeah, so like you probably have to go here and like manually import a JavaScript file or something. And then probably add like a script tag somewhere and start writing some JavaScript, TypeScript to get that all set up. That's the part where like the maintainability starts to get worse in my opinion. But again, I'm not an expert at Laravel, so maybe there's ways to like achieve most of what I just said using the built-in templating languages. Yeah, I wanted to do form validation. How do you form validate? So like here's the form. I think there's a way to say like validate. Let's see if I go to the docs over here. Validation. Let's go there. I will say the Laravel docs are very good. These are very good docs. It's very easy to find what you're looking for. Except for the Vault docs, I have some complaints about that. But what am I trying to do here? Basically, when someone submits something, I want to validate. And I do believe Vault has validation section. So like you can say this validate, and somehow it just knows to validate the form submission, I guess. So like you can just go here, and then I can say full URL is required. I'm sure you could say like /URL. I'm not sure where the list of validation directives are. The rules, define a rule. Okay, where's the list of rules? Available validation. Okay. So they have a lot of validation stuff built in. This is great. Like, this is awesome. This is something you're not going to see with Next.js. Like, you're going to have to bring in Zod and, like, do your own, hack together your own validation approach. But it looks like I can just go ahead and just say, this is a URL. That's it. Oops. Guess it's not formatting. So now the question is, how do you get the validation errors to show up and wrap your inputs and stuff? So, like, let's try submitting it with garbage. It doesn't work, and that's expected because it's failing validation rules. But they have, like, this error directive here, which is pretty cool. So I think I can just, like, do this, and then the name of, let's see, title. If you're using named error bags, you may pass the name. Okay. I mean, let's just see what this looks like. Now my stuff won't format. Like, this was working perfectly fine formatting on save, and now it just doesn't. There we go. What was I doing? Yeah, so, like, submit this. The full URL field is required. So how do I, like, let's say I just wanted to make this thing red. Like, the border could be red on this input when validation fails. How do you do that? Oh, look at there. The docs tell you. Let's go and error title is invalid. You can just sprinkle in border red 400 if this were to fail validation. Okay, obviously, if I typed the name of the thing correctly. Okay, this validation is phenomenal in my opinion. Like, this is great. And I think I kind of wish Next.js just had this built in, because, like, you're going to need to do form validation regardless. And, like, the conciseness of what this looks like if I were to load up a Next.js application, like, let me just show you the garbage that Next.js is, you're going to deal with Next.js. Let me just go find any project that I have. Let's go to my workspace. Let's go to starter kit. Go to a form. Let's go to, like, a delete account button. Do I even have validation rules in this? Like, off the bat, this is like what a single, it's like a modal, what a form would look like. It's just kind of ugly, right? Versus where that the Laravel, pretty concise. It looks nice. I will give Laravel the win on that one. I do like this a lot. A lot of things about React and Next I just don't like. But I do like the TypeScript support. All right, so what else am I trying to do here? So, like, is there a way to know, like, okay, there's just errors. Like, I don't care about there's an error in the title. I just want, like, a global, has any error happened? And using my intuition, I'm guessing I could probably just not put anything there. And I bet you this will display. Okay, maybe you do need to put something. I think you just have to put everything. Like, if you had multiple inputs here, let's just go ahead and copy this, put this here, and I'll say, like, this is, let's say you can name it. Like, you want to put a name on this stuff. Let's go over here and I'll say name. Name has to be defined. It has to be required. It's a string min of 3. Is that how you did it? Min of 1? I guess if it's required, it doesn't matter. So let's try this out. They both highlight, but it only displays full URL field is required. So if I go over here and say name, I think it'll display both of them. Okay, it doesn't. So never mind. I assumed incorrectly. You would make a blade component for your form input. Okay. Cool. Yeah, thanks for watching that Google Drive clone. I really like that project. I think it's a pretty good one. WebSockets. I don't know. I don't know anything about WebSockets and Laravel. Does anyone know? Like, I just want to, if there's any errors at all, I just want to show this error alert. Is that something that you can do? Okay. If errors any, maybe this is what I want. Explain the validation error. So what is the incoming request? Blah, blah, blah. An error variable is shared with all your application's views. Provided by the web middleware group. The middleware. Okay. Yeah, let's just grab the whole thing. There we go. That's pretty cool. They're not list. I think it's something else. Why is my Tailwind CSS? Do I not have that installed? I might not even have Tailwind CSS installed as an extension. I don't. Wow. Nice. Adding X of 4. Why is that not working? We go over here to Tailwind, Daisy UI. How do I go alerts? What are the styles? We have warning, success, error. Danger is not one. Sounds like more like a bootstrap type of thing. Cool. Now, I don't know if it's probably better to put... Forget for accessibility. Should the errors go above your form or below your form? I think above your form. You want it to be scrolled back up to the top. What? Why did it get rid of... Oh, I need a root level. I think I need to wrap this whole thing in like a root div, maybe? Cool. Class space y4. Here we go. And then obviously you probably want some labels on these things because like there's no labels. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. So let's go and let's try to add a label. Wait, am I doing... I think I'm doing React. I'm mixing React with this. Is it HTML4 or 4HTML? I thought it was like... Is it just 4? Oh, okay. That's my React brain. So I think the label, we can give this a class. We can say this is going to be a flex call. There we go. And then the submit, if we want to put it over there, we could just give this a class of flex. Say self end gap 2. Cool. And then this could be a flex grow. But I need to put it on the input, not the flex of 1. If that didn't work. Oh, I have a max on it. Okay, let's give her the max. And see what this looks like. Nope. Do some trial and error programming. Why is this not expanding? So this thing's a full width. I wanted this to expand to be the full width of the... I'm probably putting on the wrong thing. Like this probably needs to be flex of 1 maybe. There we go. This can go away. Cool, cool. Yeah, it was a good tutorial. I mean, I learned a lot from just watching that. True, I've been coding in React for so long. It's just the way my brain works now. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about PHP. I think it's fine. I first started coding in PHP. Like when I got into web development, I made like a little mini full stack app using PHP, and I didn't know better. It's pretty good. But is that Daria? That's Dev. What's up, Dev? No, it's definitely. I think what Laravel provides is great once you start getting used to it. I'm just so used to TypeScript, and the lack of like the autocomplete and the IntelliSense is a step back, in my opinion. Like once you get good at TypeScript and you start using it in your projects, you start realizing how useful a type-safe language is. Like even C# with Blazor, I'm sure is like phenomenal. But C# is a great language too. I mean, I coded in JavaScript for the longest time, and we have like a project at work that was like 300,000 lines of JavaScript. And so like you get used to the common bugs you're going to run into. Like, okay, I misspelled something. Like for example, there's no validation here. If I accidentally mistyped, I'm not going to know. I have to go and run this. You might spend a long time trying to debug this. Okay, well this one's good. Depending on, okay, so this is good. I'll take it back. That's good. It actually crashed runtime. But there's other things in here which I have wasted literally like 20 minutes trying to debug because, you know, I'm like, I forgot to put an L, or I'm calling the wrong method on a object. That type of stuff that really starts to add up over time, which I'm not a fan of. But overall, like the entire package of Laravel, like I'm impressed. The validation rules alone, phenomenal. Like this syntax is beautiful. But yeah, I think I'll keep playing around with this. Maybe I'll try to build something legit on it. I just need to also make sure my VS Code editor is like hooked up with all the best extensions, so like I get the IntelliSense I'm needing. Is TypeScript useful for a completely front-end app, or is it only back-end is involved? I mean, TypeScript is useful all across the board, right? When you have strong types, it's very useful. And people say you can type PHP, so I mean, I need to look more into that. But like, it could also be I'm using Volt, and I think Volt is like newer, so maybe there's some like VS Code extensions that don't really handle it too well. Like one complaint right now, there's a save function here. How do I go to definition? I can't. Can't command click it. This worked fine in PHP Storm, but it doesn't work in VS Code. It'll be very nice. Like it's just like those small little conveniences that TypeScript gives you. Also, like passing arguments. Let's say this thing needed to take in a number. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like here. Something like this. Like there's no, it doesn't warn me, doesn't tell me I'm doing something wrong. And again, as you've been coding with a dynamic language for a while, like you start getting really good at debugging issues like that. But I don't want to waste time like thinking about that. I just want the editor to tell me I did something wrong. The moment I did it, that feedback loop is super short, very useful. Side projects are going good. Project Planner AI, slowly adding to it, working on it. Is there anything else that we added to it? Plan to come through and just try to like work on like the content shifting. Like when you first load a page, you saw that like sidebar kind of pop out. And just try to figure out better ways to like make this more useful. This is one of my side projects that I'm working on with Hosna. Slowly just adding to it. We have like 30 or 40 actual like paying subscribers, so that's pretty cool. If you want to check it out, projectplannerai.com. It's just a one place, centralized place to kind of manage your side projects, and you could potentially work with, you know, your team of developers and send messages to each other and stuff. Yeah, those are going good. And then what other side projects do I have? The thumbnail generator kind of put on pause. What other side projects am I working on? Oh, my web dev, the starter kit. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been working on the starter kit that's made in like Next.js, and it's just using Laravel. It's something that is just missing in the Next.js ecosystem. Like, there's just so much out of the box with Laravel, and to do that with Next.js, you end up having to roll your own stuff. So I was trying to work on a starter kit. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, those are my two main side projects right now. And then obviously we can add typings to the models. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Why Livewire? Honestly, I don't know. I just read through the docs and picked Livewire because people talked about it. There's like so many different ways to write a Laravel project. That's also something that I'm kind of like, you know, it's like the inertia, Livewire, Vault, class, the class approach. What do you think Laravel has that's missing from JS frameworks, and what they can do to catch up? Honestly, like coming from Next.js server actions, this is so much better. Like I can literally make as many functions as I want directly in the file. So like this co-location is much better than Next forcing me to make a new actions.ts file, put a use server at the top. Like this is nice. This is so much nicer. I can just make as many functions as I want inside this blade file. The validation, like if you look at Laravel's validation, like they have literally like 200 different validation rules you can use, and you can easily just chain them together like this. Something else I think the JavaScript ecosystem can learn from Laravel is like stop making new libraries and then abandoning them after 6 months, just so that we have to go and refactor our current projects to use something new that's literally the same thing. I think we abandon too many third-party libraries in the JavaScript ecosystem, and having one thing, one framework that everyone kind of rallies behind, I think will just make us be more productive instead of us wasting our time like dropping Prisma because now Drizzle is cooler. It's stuff like that that is literally, we're just wasting our time, which I think having something like Laravel just like makes that so much better. I'm sure there's other stuff. I can't think of anything right now, dev, but if you use Laravel, you should use PHP Storm. Yeah, I have it downloaded. I set up the Laravel IDEA plugin, but it's like I don't want to learn another IDE. I'm so used to VS Code by now that it's like I'm going to take a productivity hit switching over. There's extensions for all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've already installed like 7 different extensions, and like it's not enough to make this something that I'd actually choose to work on. Like maybe if the Laravel docs, maybe they do. If they have like you're using VS Code, here are the extensions you should probably set up. VS Code doesn't even pop up in the docs at all. Right? So it's like if you want to actually get people to use your framework, you need to have a better onboarding experience for the Next.js junkies who like, they're so used to coding a certain way. And now you switch over to Laravel, it's like, okay, I have to install 7 extensions just to get IntelliSense to work. You don't have to create a new file if you're writing server component. Yeah, but that's also the thing, like to achieve this validation like functionality that Laravel is providing, you end up having to use a client component, which means you end up having to bring in a server action if you want to use one, and you can't define it in that component. You have to go and make it in a separate actions file. Like I think Next.js with the whole use client, use server stuff, it just makes the code not as co-located as it used to be. I don't know. I haven't tried Zed. Is that an editor? If I make a video called I'm switching to Laravel, it'll explode the creator space. I mean, I'll probably make one Laravel tutorial once I feel like I'm more confident with all this stuff. But honestly, I have too many different side projects. All my subscribers are watching for Next.js. So I'm not actually going to switch to Laravel. But it's always good to learn new stuff and learn from it. All right, I've been streaming for like almost 2 hours, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys learned something new, watching me struggle, trying to learn about Laravel. Overall opinions, I think it's great. I think you could probably build a really awesome full stack application using it once you get more familiar with working with dynamically typed languages again. And then also once you understand how to type PHP, which I haven't figured out yet. For example, like we have our models here. What is this? I want to print that. Someone said I can actually type these models. I don't know how to do that. So I have to go and read up on that. So hopefully when I type these models, I'll get better auto completion for like properties here. Because like right now when I create something, literally I have no idea what properties exist on this model. Maybe that's a Vault issue. Maybe not. But yeah, I'll try to stream maybe next weekend, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But hope you guys have a good day. And happy coding.